Welcome to the chapter 7 review. This will help you get ready for the test that we'll take tomorrow. So let's take a look. Number 1 says find the square roots. So we're going to find the square root of 64. And to find the square root of 64, we're going to use a calculator. And you would just plug this in, or maybe you know this one off the top of your head. What times itself equals 64? The answer would be positive and negative 8. Number 2, the square root of 16. What times itself equals 16? So that would be 4. And so we would have positive and negative 4. Number 3, the square root of, or the negative square root of 144. And so if you need a calculator, pull out your calculator and plug it in, the square root of 144. And you should get negative 12. And the last one that we have is the square root of 78. And this is not a perfect square, so we're going to have to use a calculator. So I did the square root of 78 and I got approximately 8.83. And that's how you would do 1 through 4. Alright, on number 5, you're going to do the cube root, and you're going to use your calculator. Make sure that you're doing the cube root and not the square root. But if you do the cube root, you're trying to figure out what number times itself gives you 64. And in this case, the only number that'll do that is 4. On number 6, you got to find the cube root of negative 125. So what number times itself gives you a negative 125. Well, that's going to be negative 5. Because negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And positive 25 times negative 5 would give you negative 125. Number 7, the cube root of 216. And I'm just going to grab my calculator quick. Ends up being 6. Because 6 times 6 is 36. And 36 times 6 is 216. The last one we have, number 8, is the cube root of 66. And I get approximately 4.04 when I round it to the hundredths place. Alright, let's take a look at number 9. So on number 9, we have to figure out one of the side lengths. In this case, it's going to be a leg. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to label A, B, and C. And I'm going to write my formula as A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So in this case, my A is 9 plus B squared, which we don't know, A equals C squared, which is 17. So I'm going to square these. I get 81 is equal to B squared. And 17 squared is 289. Now I'm going to try and get my B by itself. So to get this by itself, I have to get rid of the positive 81. To do that, I'm going to minus 81 from both sides. That's going to give me B squared is equal to 208. And then I have to take the square root to get B by itself. So the square root of 208 is 14.42. So B is approximately 14.42. And that's how I would do number 9. Number 10 is going to be about the same thing. I'll call this one A this time, this one B. And our longest side is always going to be C. So I have A squared plus 8 squared equals 23 squared. And now I'm going to square the numbers that I can. So I'll have A squared plus 64 is equal to 23 squared. And now I want to isolate my a and get this a here by itself. So I'm going to get rid of a positive 64. I'm going to minus 64 on both sides. So that's going to leave me with a squared is equal to 465. And now I have to take the square root of both sides. So a is going to approximately equal 21.56. And that's how you do 9 and 10. Alright, number 11 is going to be about the same thing. I'll say this is A, this is B, and this is C. Remembering that C is always across from the right angle. It's always your longest side. The formula we're going to be using is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A I have, so I've got 8 squared plus B squared, which I don't know, is equal to 15 squared. 8 squared is 64 plus B squared equals 15 squared. 225. I'm going to minus 64 from both sides. So that gives me B squared is equal to, so 22 minus 6 is going to be 16. So I get 161. B squared equals 161. Then I have to take the square root of both sides. Square root of 161 is 12.69. B is approximately 12.69. That's how you do 11. Number 12. On 12, 13, and 14, we're going to be finding the hypotenuse. So this is always going to be A and B. And C is going to be your unknown. So we'll have 7 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. So 7 squared is 49. 8 squared is 64. And we don't know what C squared is. So 49 plus 64 is going to be 13. 113 is equal to C squared. Now you're going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 111 is 10.54. Alright, let's go to number 13. We'll have A and B. This time I'll have A squared, which is 12 squared, plus B squared, which is 5 squared, equals C squared, which is unknown. 12 squared is 144. Plus 5 squared, which is 25, equals C squared. We add those together, we get 169 is equal to C squared. And then our last step is to take the square root of both sides, which is 13. Alright, number 14. Call this one A, this one B, and obviously the hypotenuse is C. So I got 5 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. 5 squared is 25, and 9 squared is 81, is equal to C squared. We're going to add those together. 81 plus 25 is going to give you 106. 106 is equal to C squared. And then we have to take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 106 is approximately 10.3. And that's how you do 12, 13, and 14. 15 and 16, the question is asking, is this a right triangle? So what we're going to do is we're going to plug into the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And if it's true, then it is a right triangle. So your shorter two sides are going to be a and b, and your longest side is going to be c. So what I have here is 5 squared plus 12 squared has to be equal to 13 squared. 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144, and that's got to be equal to 13 squared, which is 169. So I'm going to add 25 plus 44, and I get 169. 169 is equal to 169, so yes, this is a right triangle. Number 16 is the same thing. My shorter two sides are going to be a and b. My longest side has to be c. So I'm going to have 7 squared plus 24 squared has to equal 27 squared. 7 squared is 49. 24 squared is 576. And that has to equal 729. I add this together, I would get 625. 625 is not equal to 729, so you would say no, not a right triangle. And that's how you do 15 and 16. On number 17, we're doing the same thing. We're going to do a. My two shorter sides are a and b, and my longest side, the hypotenuse, is c. So I'll have a squared, which is going to be 8 squared plus 15 squared has to equal 17 squared. 8 squared is 64. Plus 15 squared, 225, and that has to equal 17 squared, which is 289. So 64 plus 225, add those together, I'm going to get 289. 289 is equal to 289. Yes, this is a right triangle. Alright, let's look at number 18. Alright, so we're going to find the distance between the 2 points. The first thing that I'm going to do is label these as x1, y1, x2, y2, and then I'm going to write the formula, and the formula is the distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And so I'm going to fill in the formula. I'm going to start inside here with the x2 minus x1. So my x2 is 8. 8 minus 4 plus 9 minus 7 squared. So 8 minus 4 is 4. And 9 minus 7 is 2. So 4 squared is 16. Plus 2 squared, which is 4. I get 20. And then my final step is to take the square root. And if I do the square root of 20, I get 4.47. So our distance is approximately 4.47. Number 19, I'm going to do the same thing. Label these as x1, y1, x2, y2. just rewrite the formula here. I'm going to have x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So my x2 is 11 minus 6 plus 7 minus 2 squared. 11 take away 6 is 5. 5 squared plus 7 minus 2 is also 5. 5 squared is 25. And so I have the square root of 50, which is 7.07. So D is approximately 7.07. And that's how you would do 18 and 19. That's it for the Chapter 7 review. Good luck.